obviously the big thing that people want to know right now is let's dive into how to network right now, right? I think a lot of people are sitting at home and they're like, it's easy to network when, we can go to meetups and have lunches and whatnot. And now it's like, well, that's gone. How am I supposed to meet potential new employers, right? How am I supposed to meet just people in general to build my network? So I'm interested to kind of hear your thoughts on that first.
I think there's a lot of similarities to what you would do. Leveraging the social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, to just start conversations. I mean, the thing about networking is that you're trying to get to know somebody else, not because you need something from them, but because you want to build and establish a relationship. And so starting a conversation over a DM or a message, an email, a LinkedIn message is the same as if you were at a live event and you'd go up and kind of, tap somebody on the shoulder and start a conversation.
Yeah.
You're going about it the same way. The medium is just different. So it's not anything new. It's not anything that somebody's got to be scared of and saying, well, wait a second, are there protocols or do I have to do something different to do it digitally versus live? It's not that at all. You're just reaching out and asking to have a conversation with somebody. You're just using a different platform to do it.
100%. Yeah, no, I think that's huge, right? I mean, I think social media, and especially as of late, I mean, I think, people think, oh, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, right? Social media in a lot of people's minds. And obviously you're a dad, right? And so you can speak to this, and I will be a dad here soon, which is going to be fascinating in and of itself. But, I mean, for the most part, there is a negative connotation with social media, right? It's unhealthy. It causes insecurity. And that's a whole nother Instagram Live episode of the effects of social media and how to navigate that. But now social media is the internet, right? I know you and I follow the same entrepreneurs and business people online, and social media is the internet now. And so people need to realize that, a lot of people, that it is the way to network, right? I think a lot of people are like, well, it's Facebook. Oh, I mean, LinkedIn. Do I even need a LinkedIn? It's just a place where I throw up my profile picture and I don't touch it anymore, right? And in my perspective, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, LinkedIn right now is the place where you need to be spending, honestly, a majority of your day right now if you're unemployed. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts too, Spin.
No, you are 100% correct. I mean, connecting with, interacting with, and dialoguing with folks on LinkedIn is the place to start. Yep. After that is when you kind of get into, Zoom or Teams or GoToMeetings or whatever, and you can set up your virtual coffees and your virtual happy hours to kind of have the virtual lunches, whatever you want to do. But the dialogue starts on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social platform, but it's a business first social platform. And so a lot of the conversations that you're having there are business related and business targeted. And so the interactions there are different than what people would think of, Facebook, Instagram, any of the other things. And so even when you're reaching out to folks on LinkedIn to ask for advice, to ask, to have a conversation, people are apt to do that because they want to help. People are empathetic. People genuinely want to help other people. And so you're going to see a lot of positive response if you take the time to make the outreach. I think a lot of people are afraid of networking because they're afraid of the rejection. Yeah. Oh, what if they don't want to talk to me, or what if they don't want to do it? But if you have the right conversation and have the right ask, and you approach people in a disarming way to where you're kind of, being a little open and a little vulnerable yourself around what's going on, people are going to respond to you. They will engage, and the relationship can develop. But you're 100% correct. LinkedIn is where, the majority of folks that are looking for new opportunities should be spending the bulk of their time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alex Blue, you just said you can't get what you don't ask for. I mean, I think that's totally true, right? I think, so my dad was on the job hunt. I use this story all the time, right? So, my dad in the restaurant industry, right? You know, non-tech, non-HR, right? Just it's a very unique industry in and of itself. And you know, I told him, I said, hey, listen, you need to open up, you know, and a lot of people are probably freaking out too. They're probably like, well, I haven't used my LinkedIn in like, I don't know, 5 years, 7 years. I don't have any connections. Okay, open up your phone book. When I say phone book, I mean not an actual phone book. I don't even know how to use a phone book. I'm talking about open up your cell phone and start scrolling through. Start scrolling through your connections, right? I think so. I told my dad this. I said, you need to hold yourself, and this is the one thing that I preach all the time, pre-COVID or not. You need to hold yourself to one intentional conversation a day. That's it. One conversational, whether it is phone, video, I make you know, jokes, smoke signal, pigeon, whatever, right? But it needs to have one intentional conversation with somebody in your network once a day. And my dad did that. He held himself accountable to that, and then 3 months later found a job on his own. And consequently, he found a job through LinkedIn. And it was cold DMing his buddies from the restaurant industry who are at different concepts now.
Well, I mean, and that's it. It starts with the reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be able to put yourself out there and ask.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing. You'll have messages coming into you. People are going to be asking you for help, for advice, for introductions, for connections. You know, you're willing to help them. Other people are willing to help you. That's just the way us as human beings are wired.
Right.
And so, but you have to be intentional about doing it. And you have to be intentional about your approach, and you have to set yourself apart.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just go out to everybody and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. Somebody hire me, because everybody is doing that.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're asking for people's recommendations, if you're asking for advice, if you're asking for, you know, ideas on what they're doing to keep themselves occupied, you know, during, you know, C-19 quarantine and everything. I mean, you've got to humanize who you are to an individual, so that you're not just a profile on a website or a piece of paper. People need to get to know who you are.
100%.
And that's the only way that they're going to recommend you, really desire to help you, and how the network is going to grow.
Agreed.
You know, take an interest in somebody else, they're going to take an interest in you, and pretty soon things materialize. But you have to be willing to kind of slow things down a little bit, and not just go in and say, hey, well, I'm out of work, I need a job. Okay, there's 20 million people that are out of work and need a job now, you know.
Right.
I mean, why you? You know, why should we connect? Why should I help you? Why do you want to help me? You've got to humanize the entire interaction.